Well, happy Easter, all.
Easter.
So good to see you. Actually, you guys look beautiful out there. Celestia, I love all the color. Looks like flowers in the different areas, right? So you're all welcome here to Unity of Portland for this beautiful morning. The weather outside and the sun, and look at this amazing choir we have this morning.
Oh, that's so sweet.
We're going to start out with Morning is Broken.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall from the wet grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where his feet pass. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word.
If you guys can sing with us, we'd like to sing Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace,
How sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now
Thank you, thank you. Thank you to all of our you wonderful Unity singers. Welcome. We welcome you this morning to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland, where we are celebrating that resurrecting spirit, the essence, that evolutionary impulse that moves through every one of us this morning. We sang Amazing Grace. If by any chance you haven't ever heard the word soul instead of wretch, part of New Thought. I was 25 before I knew that there was a word wretch in that song, because I grew up in this and I said, you're kidding. They're calling us what? Because in New Thought, we believe that every being is whole, infinite, and complete, that they are created from that divine love and from that essence and that presence and that power. And so as we gather together in that consciousness, I'm just going to invite you, if you've been anywhere in the place of wretch this week, I just invite you to let that go and to move instead into our heart space, because the very essence of this universe, we live in a participatory universe. We live in a universe, a quantum field of energy. And that energy, the core of it is love. And it rises through. So there's always grace holding us and loving us and saying, remember, I'm here. I've got my arms around you. And these are arms of energy, because we are a whole in a whole universe, in a field. And so as we move into that heart space, I just invite you to join with me in prayer and opening this service. And we just say, Infinite Spirit, we open. We open to a larger understanding, to a universe that says yes, expansion. Expansion is that movement forward of light, of love, of presence and power. And we say yes to that movement within us, around us. We allow the love that we are to encompass this universe, this globe, this universe, this expanding expression that is called forth from every human. And for those that are hurting, that are experiencing pain or sorrow, we simply surround them in that light and that love, knowing that they are infinite creations of spirit, and that rising essence in them holds them along this sacred, sacred journey. For this opportunity to gather and to celebrate the rising of love, of life, of light, we say thank you, Infinite Spirit. And so it is. Amen. And we are so thrilled to have all of you with us. Yes, it's you. And Beth is going to come up and share some of what's happening.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Easter, everybody. Y'all look great. Thank you for being here this morning. We're grateful you're here. There's a lot happening. You know, our ministry is based on affirmative prayer. And each week we have prayer chaplains that are available to pray with you following the service if you have something on your heart. And our prayer chaplains this morning, if you'd stand, we have Carol and Sherry and Lynn. Yay. So you have an opportunity to do that today. If you're not ready to pray in person, we have prayer requests in the backs of the chairs and out on the lobby table. You can slip those into our prayer box, which is up here in the front of the sanctuary. As I said, our prayer chaplains, they are the foundation of our ministry, and they do the dial-a prayer every day. They put a wonderful brand new message on there if you need a little lift, and they hold a guided meditation on Sunday mornings at 10:30 in our chapel. And we also have a 12-hour adult Sunday school that meets on Sunday mornings at 9:45 in the chapel. So lots of opportunities to participate. Today, following the service, is our annual Easter egg hunt, and our youth are preparing for that, I'm sure, downstairs. We're so grateful for the sunshine. We can have it outside this year, which we're really grateful about. We also have a special coffee and connection today, as it is the 5th Sunday of the month, and that is when our youth ed usually takes over the coffee and connection. And because they're doing so much today, I know a lot of you brought things to help them with that, so we thank you in advance. And I do have a message from Coffee and Connection team, and they have asked me to gently remind you to be mindful going through the food lines, remembering that there are many people behind you. You can always go back for seconds, but we are growing, which we are grateful for, but the food has not caught up. So we're hoping that that will happen, okay, very quickly. But anyway, just a little mindful note, okay. So spring is full of wonderful opportunities here. I want to mention some of those. Alan Watson's new class begins April the 11th, The Meaning of Mary Magdalene. This is in person and on Zoom. He's also recording the classes, so if you miss one, you can go back and catch up, so there's not that pressure, which I know everyone's really grateful for. It's $15 a class. It's $90 in advance. You get that break if you pay for all of it in advance. And there's a reading list, so Alan would really love it if you would sign up early. Make sure you have some of that reading taken care of before you start the class. And anyway, we invite you to sign up. There's sign-ups on the lobby table and also in our newsletter and website. So you can get more information on that there. I also want to mention, just because it's Easter and there's a lot of you here who aren't normally here, so it's Saturday, April the 13th. Every second Saturday, we have a Makers Meetup, which is a wonderful time. We get together and we just craft for like an hour and a half, and it's a lot of fun, and it's healthy and healing, and you get to let your creativity come out. We have a great time, so that's on the second Saturdays at 9 a.m. On Sunday, April the 14th, our prayer chaplain, Sherry Lawrence, is going to begin an insight meditation class. It's going to be 5 Sundays through May. Yes, we're thrilled about this. 5 Sundays through May. It's going to start about 12:45 after the service. So it's a basic beginning mindfulness class for those who want to explore the tradition of insight meditation. No sign up necessary. Just come, and they will be taking a love offering for that. Also on Sunday, April the 14th, we are very excited to welcome back David Roth, musician. I know some of you know him, some of you do not, but I will tell you, if you haven't experienced David in message and song, you'll want to come and do that, and if you have, well, we know you'll be here because he's pretty magnificent. So that's Sunday, April the 14th. And then at the end of the month, the spirit groups begin, April 28th. We have signups. We have 4 new groups, which is great, and what really excites me is they're all meeting in person, which hasn't happened since before the pandemic. So we're just really, really happy about that. We have 2 groups. The Monday and Thursday groups are evening groups, and the Tuesday, Wednesday groups are daytime groups. So whatever fits your schedule, signups are out there. The book is Emergence by Derek Rydell. We're super excited to dive into it. And for those of you who've been in a spirit group, you know, we're always excited to come back together. Every time we do this, it's really a wonderful thing. And I do hope you'll join a group, because this is the way you're able to connect personally with other people. It makes such a difference. And it helps to share the walk with others on this spiritual path. So we invite you to come and join in doing that. Our Spring Community Outreach Collection Project begins next week. We have flyers on the table. They are going to be supporting veterans and seniors this spring. So very special collections going on. Again, that will start next week. I want to mention that membership is coming up in May. Some of those orientations and classes, there's information on the lobby table, also in the newsletter. So make sure you pick up that information if you're interested in joining our spiritual family. We would love to have you come and do that. Last but not least in my announcements is our offices will be closed tomorrow. Yes, and this is not April Fool's. This is for real, okay? Just saying. Yeah, so I do also want to say everything I've mentioned is detailed in that newsletter. If you are not getting that newsletter, you need to, because it does have everything in it, and there's lots, so make sure you scroll all the way down. I have to remind y'all to do that every once in a while, too. But we have these wonderful neon cards. If you received a welcome packet today when you came in, great. If you didn't, now's your chance. Raise your hand. Our ushers have a few, and they'll be able to hand you one. We would love for you to fill out this card, drop it in the love offering bag when it comes around, or in the box on my door. If you're joining us virtually, there's a QR code that will be coming up. You can take a snap of that. That will also get you on our email newsletter list. There's a rose sticker on the front. We'd love for you to peel that and stick it to your name tag so we know who you are. I hear it might get you to the front of the Coffee and Connection line. Just saying. We have a pretty friendly group here. So yeah, so we're just really glad you're here. We do invite you downstairs after the service to have some wonderful social time with us and just enjoy this beautiful day. Thank you so much.
Beth has such a wonderful way of telling us what she needs us to do and know. Thank you, Beth. It's always a delight. And we do want to welcome you if you're here for the first time or you haven't been here in a while. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to gather. What we know at Unity is that every being is this infinite creation of spirit, and we're right where we need to be on these spiritual journeys. Sometimes we'd like to exchange them for somebody else's, but the truth is right where we are has the lessons and the ideas and the pieces for our soul's growth and that movement forward. If this community works for you, I would encourage you to become a part. One of the most important things we can do right now as humanity, as we learn to create a new world and to be a part of a new world, is to connect with each other and remember that every one of us is infinite and whole and has a purpose for being. If this community does not work for you, I would encourage you to continue seeking, to find a place that does remind you of who you are, the light that's within you, and the ability for you to be a part of this larger whole. So we're so happy that you're all here and that we're moving forward. You know, part of Easter is such an interesting story because it's the rising up, it's the letting go, it's the falling in, moving into that tomb, and then this whole journey that happens. And I wanted to share with you some news this morning that some of you have heard, some of you have not, some of you aren't familiar, but Reverend Diane Borzakowski made her transition this past yesterday. And so just holding her in prayer, she is a religious science minister who had considered this Unity her home and has spoken many times here. And as I look at the journey she was on, and what a sacred journey it was, I learned so much from Diane. She had a small stroke a few weeks ago and was really learning to live in a different way and with a different peace. And I remember sitting with her in one of the ancient temples in Egypt, 16 months ago, and she said, if my body's not working the way it needs to be, I won't be around. And I think, what power is that to make a decision of where we want to be and where we don't want to be? And what I'm learning to do is honor that. I thought of arguing a lot yesterday and crying and a lot of the other things, but what I really know is that there's a sacred journey of life that none of us understand, but I believe we're blessed in the comings, and I believe we're blessed in the goings, and that people teach us in all ways. So this next song we're going to sing is about the light and the inner light, and I know that's what Diane shared with us, and so I just invite you to stand and join us in this beautiful music.
Yes, this bright light of mine. We changed the words here too. So. Here we go. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go,
And I just invite you to turn to those lights around you and say, welcome, namaste. The light in me greets the light in you. You're here. I didn't even.
Yes, that's gonna be after. Yeah. I'm gonna just. Just get up.
One of the most important things we can participate in, we want to hug and see the light in everyone around us. And I think it's pretty easy when we start looking at faces and eyes and we realize the light that's in every being. Sometimes we don't find that same light in ourselves. And my invitation to every one of us is to remember that we were created by light as light. And in just a moment, we're going to get quiet and just spend a little bit of time in meditation. It's just a reminder to every one of us that the more time we spend in meditation, in silence, there's a cellular remembering of the light that created us, that is us, that lives as us now.
This is life. This is hope. This is love. And this is God. This is life. This is hope. This is love. This is God.
As we relax our bodies, as we take that deep, deep breath, fully in, fully letting go and releasing all the cares, all the concerns, we just relax into our bodies, turning our attention within. With that breath, this is light. This is hope. This is love. And this is the infinite presence and power. And as I continue to turn within and allow the sacred breath, the very breath of life that moves through me moment by moment, I allow it to remind me that I am light. I am love. I am that I am. The vibratory essence of the universe moves within my being now. I am that I am in the silence, in the silence. As I continue to breathe in an awareness and the words, I am life, I am love, I am the very light of the universe in expression. I allow these to move through my being, and that cellular remembering happens again and again as I know we are light. And I simply say, thank you, Infinite Spirit. And so it is.
This is life. This is hope. This is love. This is God. This is life. This is life. This is hope. And this is love. We are life, and we are light. We are hope. We are love. We are God. We are light. We are hope. We are love, and we are God. We are light. We are hope. We are love, we are God. I am life, and I am love. I am hope. I am love. And I am God. The shadows I was seeing, and the doubt I was believing, no longer in my view. I see that they were never true. The darkness that I lived in, and the prison I created were only made by me. My faith came in and set me free, 'cause who I am is now renewed. The old is gone, all things are new, created in the image of God, the power of love in all I do. 'Cause who I am is now renewed. The old is gone, all things are new, the power of love in perfect view, an image of God that looks like you.
The treasures that I wish for, all the love that I could hope for, were always here inside. I had never to hope for more. Now I'm living in my freedom. I affirm what I believe in by living a life, by being alive.
'Cause who I am is now renewed. The old is gone, all things are new, created in the image of God, the power of love in all I do. 'Cause who I am is now renewed. The old is gone, all things are new, the power of love in perfect view, an image of God that looks like you. And all I am is enough, 'cause all I am is love, divinity of God before our eyes. The unity of God and man has come, and all I am is enough, 'cause all I am is love, divinity of God before our eyes. The unity of God and man has come, 'cause who I am is now renewed. The old is gone, all things are new, created in the image of God, the power of love in all I do. 'Cause who I am is now renewed. The old is gone, all things are new, the power of love in perfect view, an image of God that looks like you, an image of God that looks like you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, how beautiful. The image of God that looks like you. I'm sure every one of us got up this morning, looked in the mirror, and said, yes, that's God. That's the infinite. And yet, I believe that's what we're designed to do. You know, as we celebrate Easter and this, again, eternal story. This is a story of a people, of a rising up, of the literally the resurrection essence in every one of us. And it's a celebration of that. It happened at the same time that there were so many spring celebrations happening around that part of the world. And this Easter that you may have been told was something about 2,000 years ago, and a being that died for all kinds of interesting things. I'm not even going to say these words from this platform, because I believe there's a lot larger story. And when we deal with these evolutionary archetypes, these stories that are offered to us for learning and living and finding a way to say, what is my story? What is it that the universe desires to have live through me? Then we get to start with looking at this archetype. So the archetype, we started last week. Last week was Palm Sunday. And this idea, of course, Jesus as a being, a way shower. So if you have the breath that says, wow, a mystic in my midst, someone who was able to see and teach and look at inclusion, at forgiveness, at love on a level that allowed a vision for something so much more, enough food, enough water, enough of so much. by simply holding a larger story. And the I am, that divine presence in him that says, I'm a part of this larger whole. He started in Bethany, which means, and again, every name in this story, every name in Aramaic, in that part of the world, means equality. You can look them all up. They're all there, and it's fascinating when you look at any story of the Bible and you go, whoa, that means this and this and this. Bethany, where he started this sacred journey, means house of depression or despair or unripe figs. And if you got any unripe figs, you know they don't taste very good and they're not much fun, and the depression and the despair that goes with them. And then going to Bethpage, which means it's the idea of the possibility. It's not done, it's not there, but it is the home of the possibility. And we have to move from there to even move into Jerusalem, which of course means habitation of peace. We're all going to Jerusalem. We find it one way or another, and our souls have such interesting journeys. And they're eternal journeys. It's not an ending and, well, we're done. It is an eternal journey of life. And these souls continue on. And as we take this sacred journey for this lifetime with this spacesuit, and you might want to change that in too. You might be saying, I'd rather have theirs, or one that works this way or this way. But the truth is, we have what we need in the moment to move into this sacred trip to Jerusalem. And then to move into the spaces where there's a betrayal. Because part of a resurrection requires a betrayal of some form. It could be our bodies. It could be society. You know, today is LGBTQ Inclusion Day, March 31st. There's a lot of the world that had this idea that somebody's not whole because of this or this or this. When if you go to the spiritual, the universal spiritual principle that within every being is that divine light, that life, that presence, that essence, then we realize that there is a movement happening. And so when we are willing to move into this Garden of Gethsemane, where there are betrayals, and realize that those betrayals are, in fact, who was it? Gene Houston said it's the beginning, that wounding is the beginning of the hero's journey. And it may not be what we want it to be. And you might laugh and say, yeah, but I created it. And why is it in my life? Or somebody else created it, so it has nothing to do with me. But the truth is, if we're a part of it, then it's there to teach us, to heal us, to grow us. And so we move from there into this crucifixion, which is a crossing out of that which no longer serves us. Anybody got a few of those? And we'd like to just chuck the rest of them as we go? The idea of seeing a larger picture, the idea of a being. Now, this being had already said, I and my Father are one. The first known being who said, I'm related to this idea of God. And so often we have a God that's out there. But I want us to recognize what would happen if we had a larger view of that God. In Ilia Delio, in her book, The Not Yet God, I'm still making my way through it. She is a Catholic nun. She's refused to leave the order, even though she no longer lives the same life and isn't real liked by many people. She's a university professor who teaches unbelievable ideas. But I want to read this. She said, the ancient Hebrews did not coin the word God. Rather, the word God, and she said from Raymond Panikar, his work says, has its origin in Sanskrit and means light or brilliance. So that was the original idea of that word. Light or brilliance. What would happen if we said, wait a minute, I am of God. I am of light and brilliance. And so when Jesus, as a young boy, said, I must be about my Father's business, which of course the word father, there's a question as to what that word was, because the belief is that it did not have a gender, but instead it meant creative. It meant creative one. So I must be about this creative one's, that which created me. But he attached himself as a creation of that, an offspring of that. And so that's what this was. This way shower came with a mystical path of saying, wait a minute, I've got this in me. I have to live this. And I am more than this which happens to me. And so when you may want to crucify me and end my life because I talked to women, I talked to the Pharisees, I included others, I healed on a Sabbath. These are things you can't do according to an old tradition, an old way. And he said there's a bigger story. And so that story came. And as all was falling away, and he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He was allowing a self to emerge that was larger than an event that was happening to him. Right now, we are all in a space where there is stuff happening around us that is difficult to take, and it is difficult to stomach. And we say, I don't want to be any part. I'm discouraged. I want to run away. I don't want to be a part. If we're alive and breathing, we are a part of the transformation. We're a part of what she calls moving into a new age with a God that means brilliance and light and love and the very energy of the universe, and that uses science and that uses larger understanding. But we're still very firmly a part of a world that doesn't want to, and the battle that goes on. And so our part is letting go of that which has been difficult for us, that has held us back, that we have not believed we were enough to meet. And our opportunity is to meet it right where it is. And from that crucifixion, you move right into a tomb. And the tomb, and we know because of the part of the world he was in, was a cave, or there were very few that weren't. And I've sat in those caves now. And it was fascinating in Egypt to get into the dark and to realize the vibration that's actually there. It is so powerful. It was in the pyramids and it was in the tombs. Now I couldn't find it when we went in the afternoon and there were thousands of people in there cramming in and it was hot and all these things. But they got us up at 3 a.m. the next day and said, we're going back. And we moved into literally a place of vibration. And that's what the tomb represents. And so if we feel like life is dark or difficult or we wonder what's happening, we get to spend 3 days, which by the way, the number 3 means spiritual completion. It's one of the 3 numbers that I know of. 3, 7, and 12 are those that represent spiritual completion, which probably means the same as 40, as long as it takes. I'd like it to be 3 days. Most of us would. It's like, could I just get in and get out and get on with the resurrection? I want a rising. But the truth is, the rising happens when we allow ourselves in that place to literally accept the vibration. And it's a vibration of light and of love, and it's the universal energy that will surround us and will allow us to breathe in something more when we're willing to let go of the something less that has bound us so far. You did not come for anybody to say you're not enough or you're not whole. The new theory of integral systems that Ken Wilber uses and so many others are using, it took me so long to really figure this out, and I'm not an expert, please know that. But basically, we're all holons, H-O-L-O-N. So if somebody hasn't called you a holon yet, it's actually good. It's very good, and it means I'm a whole within a whole within a whole within a whole universe. I am whole. Our theme this year of You Belong is the idea that we belong not as a partial being that doesn't have all of its pieces, that hopes someday we'll get this or we'll heal from this or we'll find something more. Instead, we are beings that are whole, infinite, and complete as we are. And we exist within families that are whole. And you may say, oh, you haven't met my family. They're whole units, just as they are. And they give us everything we need to do that which is ours to do. And where that family is a part of a community. And it's a whole-on also. And it's part of larger and larger communities. And so how we move through this journey is to begin with ourselves. And to recognize that rising up that this mystic Jesus experienced was one of spirit. It was one that the absolute vibration of love allows a lifting. And so when we are in places where we say, how do I move through this? We do it through the breath of love. The breath that just allows something larger than we can see. And we're squeezed and we're hurt and we're angry. We say, I can't do this. And the I can't. This personality, this humanness can't usually do it. But the breath of love in you can, because it's infinite. And it's always been there, and it created you, and it's not going anyplace. It's not going anywhere. You know, the Hebrew word for create is bara, which means to bring into relationship. And so in Genesis, when it says, and God created, that would actually mean, and brilliance brought into relationship. Bringing from the dark, the light. Bringing land, bringing all that needed to be created. That eternal happening is happening now. And we're being asked to take the whole of who we are and create from it. And what's fascinating, and so many wise beings today say, we create through relationship. Our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with that God of our understanding, which my desire for us in here and every youth who ever attends these, who comes within these walls or attends this building, is to know that the brilliance of the universe is within me. And that all that this infinite presence can do is to radiate what it is. And so when we allow that to come through us, we begin by realizing the breath of love will take us there. It will allow us to understand a part of life that right now might look like chaos. It might, but it's still the part we're called to find love within. So start with ourselves and move into a relationship with ourselves that says, honey, I love you. And if you don't use the word honey, find something sweeter. It's got to be sweeter. We start there. That's who I am. You know, I was thinking about Reverend Diane, and I've spent the last few hours, I found out yesterday afternoon, and just got the opportunity to just keep saying, what did I learn from this brilliant being? And one of the things she said to me, because I said, what are you doing in a Unity church? And I said, you're a center for spiritual. I really want to know. I have always, somehow, this Unity, the part I've been, has always been a combination of religious science and Unity. I have always had religious science practitioners. Of course, we're fortunate to have Sydney with us for 15 years. We had Reverend Diane. I don't know why, but that's always been my journey. And I'm always curious to say, what is it you want to know? And she said, I learned the law, and we have to learn the law, but we also have to live the love. And she said, I'm coming with my commitment to live the love as I know the law. And so every one of us gets to take these two. And there is no community that's above another. I am not saying that. But I am saying there's more in the whole. New Thought is finding that. There's no place where this idea of I'm not in a relationship with you because you live on the street. Then we're not bringing that essence, that brilliance that we are into relationship with that which we desire to. It's a larger and larger inclusion. And so we learn the law. We learn spiritual principle. We get to know, even if I can't see the beauty in the mirror yet, it's there because it's a creation of the infinite. And we start there. And we begin affirming something we may not know, but we get to hold it. And we get to recognize I am a creation of love. And if that hasn't been something that you have believed for yourself, in yourself, the resurrecting power of Spirit will give you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to say, I'm going to live the love. I'm going to live the love. And I think that as we gather the teachings from the beings around us, we might think they did something wrong. But really, Spirit is saying, move into relationship. Create something larger from what this is, even if we don't understand it. When we do, our journey will amplify and remind us of the truth of our being, but it will also bring into relationship more and more and more. It happens all the time when somebody says there's something more in this space or this space or this space. And if we have the courage to step in, something happens. I don't know if you've ever noticed on Sunday mornings. It's really easy, by the way, in here. There's nobody arguing with us. There's nobody telling us what to do. There's very little time for our brain to say, oh, you should have done that or you should have done that. But you listen to the music, and suddenly we're in relationship with ideas that we might not have entertained during the week. And so the opportunity then is to allow them to be more and more amplified in our lives so that when we go out into the world, we find something more. And yet, who was it? Jack Kornfield, I believe. He had a book, and I think it was called After. Basically, it was, what do you do with the laundry? You know, he said, as a Buddhist and as a being that has spent a lifetime finding peace inside, he said, there's still laundry. And so he said, what all of us monks have to do is get out of a lifetime of peace and move into a place where there's laundry and all the life that goes with it. And we have to learn to laugh, to love, and to honor the journey of the laundry. And I just believe, yes, please, that's what we're doing. And who knows why I'm talking about laundry. We do about 3 loads a day in my household. And usually by the time all of it gets dried, we have to wash one of the loads over again because somebody had never got into the dryer anyway. And so we get that's just part of life, right, for us right now. But wherever our life is, we get to find that. You know, last night I read a book called Quirks of Light, and it was a story by Rob Gentile, who passed away. He died for 20 minutes. And it's his near-death experience. He actually was the first person to live with a heart outside of his body, or at least he had a lunchbox. And they asked him, they said, you have no chance of living from the heart attack that he did have, where he died for 20 minutes. And so they said, but if you want to try this, it's experiential, and we think we can have you live long enough that maybe you could possibly get a transplant. And he said, well, what are the choices? And they said, well, there's yes, and you have a chance of living, and there's no, and there's 0 chance. And so he became the first person who did. And part of that experience was a night where he said the whole universe came in on him. And he said, during the near-death experience, he saw his brother-in-law who had committed suicide. And the brother-in-law said, I'm so sorry that I created a mess. Please clean up my mess. And he said and he said his name during that time as he passed away. And then he explained the rest of it. And his life, his daughter was a special needs young girl who had never walked, who she had seizures all day long. She had never talked. And he said suddenly he was in her presence. And he said, what can I do for you? So much of my life has been trying to help you, and there's nothing I can do. And she said, just love me. Just love me. And he said that experience of realizing all she wanted is love. Now, his other experience, the reason the book's called Quirks of Light, is he said, I realized we're all one. And we're living in a universe of energy that's all one. And the whole piece has created us, and every one of us is being asked to realize we're a part of a whole. And I thought, oh, that's what we look at. And he said, I was a Catholic, and these were not ideas I had lived with. And now he travels around the country sharing the ideas, but also saying, I learned with my daughter, even though she goes through so much pain each day, all I need to do is love her just as she is. The universe is offering us the opportunity to love ourselves just as we are. And then to take into relationship the whole on that we are, to touch the people around us and to love them as they are. Because the truth is, living the love is the resurrection. It's the life that we're called to be, to do, and to know. Thank you. And it is an honor to be here. I have to say, once again, I had no idea what I was going to say or how you say it, how you add ideas together. But I just trust this journey we're on. Part of what we're doing is creating a consciousness for the universal energy to know itself as enough. And so as we receive our tithes and our love offerings, and I believe what we're doing is making an investment into these kinds of ideas. Unity Spiritual Center of Portland is 99 years young, old, whatever, this year. Next year will be our 100th anniversary, and all of it is the ability to share ideas that come in. And behind that is a new banner that says, we transform lives that transform the world. And that's actually our mission statement. And the idea that we're transforming lives, and those lives in turn transform the world, is the community we want to know. There's many ways to give in this community, and I believe they're up there behind you. If not, there's a blue card in front of you that has that same information on it. You can take it home with you or do it right where you are. I'm inviting you to just be a part of this idea. We're going to say a blessing, and that blessing starts with divine love, because the creative energy of the universe is love. And it's the divine love that vibrates as us now. So I just invite you to join with me in this. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen.
We'd like to sing with you Hosanna, Amen this morning. And it's a call and response. So we'll sing the verses, and you can follow the lovely Lindsay on the response. I am longing to see your face.
I am longing to see your face.
I am longing to know your name.
I am longing to know your name.
I am kneeling to kiss.
I am kneeling to kiss the ground.
I
sound.
I am singing the joyous sound. Hosanna, Hosanna, Amen. Hosanna, Hosanna, Amen. Hosanna, Hosanna, Amen. Hosanna, ho, Amen. Hosanna, Hosanna, Amen. Hosanna, Hosanna, Amen. Hosanna, Hosanna, Amen. Hosanna, ho, Amen.
Okay.
I am tasting your mercy sweet.
I am tasting your mercy sweet.
I am dancing with Sufi feet.
I am dancing with Sufi feet.
I am rising like fire and sun.
I am rising like fire and sun.
I am praising the Holy One.
I am praising the Holy One. Hosanna, Hosanna, Amen. Hosanna, Hosanna, Amen. Hosanna, Hosanna, Amen. Hosanna, ho, Amen. Hosanna, Hosanna, Amen. Hosanna, Hosanna, Amen. Hosanna, Hosanna, Amen. Hosanna, ho, Amen.
All right. And you know, part of living that love is knowing that it's within every being. And so, in just a moment, as we sing our youth in, I'm inviting you to allow the love that is the truth of your being and to create an energy field of love into which they walk because it reminds them of the truth of who they are.
You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling on us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you. You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling on us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you. You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
And if we don't have them all, we'll find them later.
Now that scares me.
We know that because it's Easter and they're waiting for the Easter egg hunt.
Oh.
So we know we will find them. And just to let you know that there's a lot of flowers for sale up here that do not have anybody's name on them. So if you would like to purchase one of these flowers, do that. And YOU, anybody want to talk? Oh, fundraiser.
Oh, yes. Hi. So the youth is doing Connection Hour this week. So it's a fundraiser, love offering. So give what you can. And it goes towards camps.
Yes, it goes towards camps. When is rally?
Rally is April 19th to the
Okay,
21st.
So we got a while. Okay. Okay, we have 6 youth going to camp in April, which is their rally. It's their official yearly rally, which means that they're electing officers, and of course we have someone running for them. But we are so grateful. And so these are our high schoolers, our Uniteens, and all of our Unity kids. We are very, very blessed. All right, and oh, we have a special guest coming in. Okay. Oh, boy. some serious looks. Oh. He's got carrots. Just what everyone wanted, they're carrots. Okay. All right. And does he come over here? Yeah. Okay. Well, we are going to stand and
You
sing.
decide what to do with him.
Okay, come here, Mr. Easter Bunny. You want to come over here? We're going to stand and sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth," and let it begin with me.
All right, here we go. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To make it known and live this eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
From what I hear, the bunny will stay up here for any adults who want their pictures. We're going to sing the youth downstairs, and the bunny will come downstairs. We invite all of you to join us downstairs for Connection Hour. If you haven't turned in your green card and you're new today, we invite you to give it to Beth on the way out or just leave it on the table. We are going to close with our unity prayer and then sing our youth out. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Our kids make it firm. We're going to sing our youth out.
Come on, guys.